Alright, let's kick it off. Hello everybody and welcome to Tournament 4 again. We are here with round 7. This is our longest tournament ever. But that'll happen when we got double elimination. If we have a look at what's going on, we can see that Livetook is sitting pretty by himself in the upper bracket. Everyone else is battling it out for the lower bracket. Yes, indeed. So the winner of today's match is going to have the luxury of facing Stoic Rooster, another extremely powerful tournament winner who had actually, my condolences, Colpiet, for being paired with him round 1. That was pretty impossible, but you got a pretty nice loser's run in there. But whoever is going to be winning this has basically a boss gauntlet to go through. It's already fierce competition, but Stoic and Livetook are both looking to get their second trophy. It's going to be up to Wirox or Agent Cypher 19 to stop that or come up with their own trophy, or otherwise we're just going to have a double champion. Maybe one guy will just eventually just have a huge row of trophies. Well, that'd be cool. You can even mix and match them with the Gauntlet Draft trophies. But it's best of 3 the whole way through. In prior tournaments, we would switch to best of 5 at this point. But a best of 5 and also double elimination is kind of ridiculous. You can see just under Livetook, the winner of the bottom bracket is going to face him, and then if Livetook wins that best of 3, then the tournament's just over on the spot. But if whoever's got this blue text battles up there and takes 2 best of 3s, we'll give them the crown instead. Gonna be pretty good. We've only got the one match. These two. Agent Cypher 19 with the cool bunny icon has defeated Suzulu Shifty 2-0. Skitter 2-1. Stoic Rooster 0-2. Well, rather, lost to Stoic. And got the win against the Face. And also, fun fact, the last 3 tournaments, he's gotten 3rd place. Versus Wirox. Previous tournament, got matched up against his hater and immediately was eliminated. A little unfortunate, but is doing much better this time around with the 2-0 win against Venom Love Kitties, the Face, myself, and even taking a game off Livetook. Very nice. And we can see the 2 decks that these guys have. One of which is marked as the main deck, which actually is only applicable in the upper bracket. So we'll see Livetook start with his main deck. But these 2 guys, we don't know where they're starting. Agent Cypher could bust out Ragnora, could bust out the Brome. Wirox could bust out the Safarian, could bust out the Cassiva. So you generally want to pick the deck that is best against their 2 decks on average, and then if you lose that match, you can swap to the other deck if you feel, or you can just grind it out in your current deck. With all of that said, let's get to game number 1. Agent Cypher 19 versus Wirox. Who's gonna take it? Agent Cypher going first. Has more Song High banners than anything, but is ready to crush it with Brome and Regalia and spells. Wirox with the nice creep package here is gonna be able to overwrite these hollowed ground with creep. But the same could be said the other way around. So there's going to be some tile wars going on. Wirox's starting hand, by the way, is really nice. This is basically what you love to see. The early Ooze, the early Abyssal Crawlers. And then we've all seen this Brome play. 2 steps forward pass. Conserving all that strength. And Wirox just going to go nuts with the spam. The other option is you don't drop them both to play around something like a Tempest, but, I mean, you might as well drop everything. Yeah, because these guys get to work immediately. So this is the unfortunate play with Braum when you get into this situation where you can't even play your second turn of spells and just have to full pass and burn a card. Most decks are going to run a healthy amount of 1-drops or 2-drops to get around an opening like this, but Agent Cypher's not too worried, burning away Trinity Oath, one of the best spells in the game. But is confident enough in his late game to just do it anyway. Didn't have much choice with this kind of hand. He does have minions. This isn't like Indubitablement's Braum deck that only had the 1 EMP. But Rox is going to be able to plant so much creep. It's probably time for a Shadow Nova just now. Ideally somewhere where the ooze still can generate a creep. Or maybe just cast it on Braum's face. Oh, on the mana tile, of course. Excellent. This could have been a Circle of Healing or life turn. Instead, options are Regalia, and then it loses 2 pips of durability. One from the after hit of spikes, and one just for 3. So maybe Regalia isn't the play. But you can't play 3 turns and do nothing. That's just way too many. Sunstrike. Excellent spell, 3 damage everything on a row. The healing. And being able to grab this mana, Wirox has secured himself 2 turns of Klaxon, which is pretty incredible. Yeah, that's a massive problem. Gonna have to slash it and then Circle of Life it immediately, and then the second one just comes down. So Wirox with 16 creep. As soon as he gets one of his 2 obliterates, then Agent's gonna get obliterated. Klaxon number 2. And pushing the damage, so if an obliterate does show up, it'll be lethal. Sunbloom is incredible in this matchup and might be the reason Agent Cypher is running this deck to begin with. Because the Ragnora deck does not have as much silence. It's still not great though, because if you silence the 6/6, it's still a 6/6 and it hits you for a third of your life. But that's better than a third of your life and more creep. Doesn't want to just cast the Trinity Oath, because one of these has already been burned. So instead, just going to throw in a Regalia. And now Aperion Claim's online, so Agent Cypher's in a slightly better spot. Of course, it only takes 1 Obliterate and the whole game flips. With the Desolator, the Regalia can actually break. And that might be good enough to go for. Yeah, putting the pressure on. This claim doesn't look so good when it's just doing 2 damage now. And Blue Conjure needs some time to pop off. Sundrop Elixir buys a bit of time. There's no good Holy Immolations, other than maybe this one right here. King's Guard in front, Holy Immo it. Yeah, because this is pretty good, pretty safe. Wirox does have the option to munch it for 2, but might as well hold this on for any other creature. There is technically a single EMP in here, or these blue conjurers if they ever show up. Has the option here for Darkspine Elemental Pass, which will kill the Crestfallen. But Darkspine Elemental doesn't do a lot. They're funny at multiple, though. Keeps the final pip of durability good on this blade. So now looks like a good time for Eternity Oath. Bloodseer, decently useful, shuts down the production in the backline. Probably would want to heal up with Trinity Oath or use the Blood Tier to destroy the equipment. It's too hard to play around Desolate at this point, or around the Obliterate. Wasn't expecting him to take the step forward though. Can't even summon a guy with Provoke from this angle. Maybe just wants to drop the Holy Immolation. 1 damage to the back line, destroy the front line. It's actually pretty nice, because this Alchemist is horrible to munch. You can deal 20 damage to it and heal for 1. A bomb has been procured for Wirox. He's got an absolute ocean of Shadow Creep to fall back on. Pretty tough turn for Wirox. This game got a lot harder. Seemed like the Klaxons were the ticket to victory, but with the Obliterate just not showing up, it's gonna have to fade. Might even consider munching his own unit for a full heal, because he can just heal off it. And it would survive as a 23-3. Kind of ridiculous. Yeah. No fear, clears everything, even throws his own unit into it because it doesn't need any more creep. 21 is plenty. And the spell is perfect. Speaking of perfect spells, though, Wirox got a really good draw, and Agent Cypher's out of time. Abracadabra, I win! 21 Abyssal Energy. Well played. Gets his win out. Real nice. Wirox leading the series 1-0. So we'll be seeing more Cassie next round. As for Agent Cypher, it could be more Brome. The creep absolutely got out of hand, though. The two Sunblooms just weren't able to cut it. So maybe Ragnora with some eggs, I don't know. Jumping into game number 2 with Wirox up 1-0. Okay, we have 4 players left in the tournament. And same starting positions. Wirox has got a slightly different opener, which is still quite good. 2 oozes, but sometimes they're creep stacks and then you don't get a lot of benefit from multiples. Agent Cypher's actually got a minion that he can play in the first 3 turns. Real nice. And has a ton of lasting judgments for the early game, which are going to be perfect answers to ooze. Because it spawns creep whenever it's damaged, and +3, -3 doesn't damage it. Way too early for Ghost of Zayla, and Desolator's also too early. Might be throwing one of those 2 back. Don't want to just be holding on to your payoffs without too many generators, but maybe the double ooze plan is actually good enough generation. Just holds on to them. No replaces. Agent Cypher probably going to do the diagonal step, slash the pet, and then destroy the backline pet. That way the frontline pet just instantly bonks itself, only generates 1 creep. Instead wants the center tile, which is pretty good. And is probably the better play. Yeah. Gonna have to just run the Desolator out and hope it doesn't get silenced. The 2 ooze opening absolutely cleaned up. Traded for just 6 damage, which is pretty much best case scenario. Good to have one of these cards. Lasting Judgment answers so many things. Okay, finally this Ghost of Zayla in the hand is going to be able to do something with a Shadow Nova. He's only got the one artifact in deck with this Ghost Azalea, so would want to make sure that doesn't lose it like last game where he just could not find it. Slashing the Desolator so it can't be pinged to generate more creep. Down below half his health total though. Might want to heal back up with Scintilla. So if Wirox really wants that Scintilla dead, the Lure plus the Spectral Blade could get there. But using a Lure on a token is pretty miserable. These things are so tiny. But it is gonna eat up this General's turn otherwise. Doesn't go for it, because even if the Spectral Blade did hit, it wouldn't get any value from the heal. Wirox was already at full at that point. Instead, it's just a Desolator. Into the Blade. So the Tempest and the Holy Ammo are pretty nice for breaking artifacts. Agent Cypher's gonna want to keep this minion alive if he can help it, because this healing is gonna keep him in it. But Wirox has multiple ways to grab it in. So maybe it should just, I don't know, attack? It would probably not be worth it. Okay, dropping Sunset Paragon just to ping the Desolator. Give some a nice protective formation, keep Scintilla back. Probably the biggest threat on the board and needs to be killed this turn. So we might be seeing a Nether Meld or the Lure. Which leaves leftover mana for Desolator again, or maybe the Shadow Nova. Pretty good Nether Meld, has the one Shadow Creep, can make pretty good use of it. Time for more Shadow Creep? It's probably time for the Desolator. Because there's actually no counterplay to it right now. But to play around Sunbloom, you don't want to play it unless you can immediately ping it. So it goes for the Shadow Nova instead. play is break the artifact. Yeah, with Sunstrike. Both generals at 19. Not too much creep. This Ghost Azalea is gonna be pretty decent. Might even be good enough to just go with now, because there's nothing else going on. And then it just turns into a damage race. Might want to replace this Darkspine Elemental. I don't know. Doesn't seem so great. It's nice with all the Shadow Novas, but not good right here, I don't think. Or maybe the Munch is the worst card in the matchup because there's just so few targets. So this turn could be go to 7 attack and then try to hit 3 times for the win. And then the other play is Desolator, and then you can get it back into your hand immediately. It is Desolator. And playing around Sunbloom. So once Wirox has 9 mana, this Desolator can be cast twice with the ping in between. Trinity Oath might be better than a replace, because then you can replace your worst card of what you all draw. Because if you replace and then draw, you might just redraw what you're replacing. Depends if you're fishing for something that costs 4 mana or more. Okay, so gonna just take out the 1 minion, no more doubling. And then draw some cards afterwards. So this BTA is Cassie food. She can pop that and go to 7 energy, grab on the weapon, do 9 damage per swing. +2 from the Desolator. Wirox looks like he's got this in the bag. This is so much damage. But you can't count Brom out unless you get him to literally 0 health, because he can heal from the brink. But this looks like a really good turn for Wirox. Could do yet even more setup. This Mana Forger doesn't do much, but could go for a surround with it. Critically does not have the BBS available. It's on cooldown because it was pinging his own Dio last turn. Or Deso. So the play is probably a Desolator and a Ghost Azalea, and you accept that the artifact is just going to get wailed on by the Alchemist. And Holy Emote by the Alchemist? Okay, maybe this isn't a good plan. Munching it for 1 seems pretty bad. Maybe munch it for one, hit it with Ghost Azala? Oh, 10 seconds to choose. Yeah, not having a BBS made that turn really awkward. Agent Cypher could throw in a Regalia. Scintilla plus making a Provoke dude sounds really great. Holy Immel is generally great. Taking some damage off the board. Yeah, so healing is real nice because it keeps you out of range. So you just don't get one shot by the spell at late game. Wirox does have double Desolator online, but it's not that impressive with this Regalia here. Oh, Abyssal Noble. Love to see it. It's going to be hard to get value out of it with the board this tense, though. Most likely a munch turn. Really good answer for Scintilla. How does one answer the Regalia, though? Maybe with this Desolator. The one problem to dropping this Noble is it immediately gets silenced or it immediately gets martyrdomed. So then you just have to hope you draw another. Uses the Abyssal Scar, so the BBS is offline. Wanted to generate this extra creep tile, but is not going to be able to ping his own Desolator. Instead, goes for the Noble. Yeah. This is a must-answer threat. Oh, replaces one answer and finds a much better one. So instead of 5 health going to Wirox, 5 health goes to Agent Cypher. What a play. Now it's Wirox, who looks like he's on the back foot. Oh, 2x2 on the creep. Abyssal power down to 3. He's been holding on to this Ghostly Sailor for all game, and it was just getting good. Pinned by the 1-2. No way of breaking the Regalia this turn, probably just prepares for next turn when the exact same BBS happens. This is such a lockdown. It's got to find a way in to generate a little bit of creep. Desolator can get there one tile at a time. And then Munch can be used to clear the provoke unit the turn that it's time to go in. But that setup is going to take way too many turns. This ooze might speed things up. Desolator just for the healing. And a Scar, so probably going to take 2 steps to the right, so that becomes a Shadow Creep tile. Yeah, Desolator's just here to stick. With no silence to punish it, seems good. The damage train could still keep going if he takes 2 steps down, drops another provoke unit, and then just keeps slashing. Okay, it doesn't need it to have provoke. It just needs Holy Immolation. And Obliterate is not what you want to be drawing when you're behind. Ooh, this Ghost Azala has been just a dead weight in hand all game. It's too bad. It looked like it would have been the ticket to lethal earlier. But maybe that hesitation did him in, and that was his chance to push a ton of damage. And now it's the Brome zone, the late game. So to survive one more turn, the minion needs to be destroyed by a spell, and the blocker needs to show up. Or some Desolator to heal back up. Stark Spine. I'm not convinced it's great for the creep package. But then again, what would be the out here? Like something like an EMP, of course, would be nice, but those are limited to 1 of. And this Abyssian deck actually doesn't run any. Top end are the Klaxons. Klaxon being the perfect draw, but just isn't showing up. Wirox trying to buy himself some time with this wall. And then using the Abyssal Scar on his own pet. Two by two silence. Desolator finally got caught. More tricks. Clearing the way. Agent Cypher tying the series up 1-1. Getting there in game 2 with the Brome package. Well, to be fair, Wirox had a really sick game 1. So we might be seeing Wirox switch off Cassie, going for the Safarian. Or maybe the creep did so well that last game, and this was just kind of an unlucky game. Could be the matchup of choice. Agent Cypher sticking with Brome. Let's see who gets 4th place and who goes on. The final match of the night. Agent Cypher 19 getting left again. Wirox getting different openers every time. and with a very slightly higher power level in Gauntlet. Agent Cypher not replacing the ZMP, knowing how great it would have been in the first game at least. It's a bit odd to keep a card this expensive though. Wirox without the use for once. Still has a pretty good opener of the Mentor plus the Crawler. Pretty nice start. This Mentor is kind of asking for it. This Tempest seems like the way to do it. And then the Scintilla can heal up later. Really nice response to this opener again. Completely different opener, but still takes it out just as nicely. Wirox could immediately get the Shadow Novaing, although it's not a lot of use Shadow Novaing a Mana Spring when he's in the middle. Really good adaptation from the first game. So Desolator's here to block one of them off. And then it looks like a Noble can come down next turn, possibly. But it's immediately going to get hit by this Martyrdom, so maybe not. Agent Cypher could fall back, start getting some Scintilla value. Could try to get this mana. Protecting the Scintilla seems like the highest priority though. And keeping that thing off the table is like secondized. Really nice. Agent Cypher grabs himself a mana and gets Wirox stuck, so he can't get it. Get one himself. And Wirox is replacing, gonna want to find some way to deal with this Scintilla, one of like the whip or teleport to a creep. Instead finds the Ghost Azalea creep payoff again, which is so bad early. But I don't think he's gonna replace it. Loves this card, and it's actually pretty nice when paired with Shadow Nova and Klaxon. So as awkward as this turn is, the next turns are going to be so good. For Wirox, that is. So some pretty strong responses for Agent Cypher. This Shadow Nova can just be countered for half the mana. Because you can dispel a 2x2 area to just clear this block of spikes. Running in with Scintilla to get a hit and an Holy Mo would be pretty nice too. This, I would have thought the Sunset Paragon would have been the replace. Regalia wins games, y'all. It's good for all kinds of archetypes, maybe all of them. Except for, I guess, like Titan, you get your own artifacts that way. So, 6 mana. Wirox has come online. Doesn't have much for options for dealing with the Regalia right away, so the Klaxon's probably just going to eat it. Klaxon placed on the bottom row so it can't be dispelled and these creeps dispelled at the same time. Dispel probably really good here, because you don't want to have your opponent just getting 6 creep. I guess the other option is Sunset Paragon deals with it, and the EMP deals with the artifact. But that's like, okay, we're doing that. It seems like the more dangerous option. But this gives you the extra mana to be able to do this and heal up a bit. So although this Ghost of Zayla, Wirox can do a ton of damage, he can't direct it properly. It's just going to this Crestfall unless he munches it for 2 and then has like a half lethal. Probably needs to hold on to the Ghost of Zayla for longer. Second Klaxon shows up. Really nice timing. It's tough though, because every turn that you're nearby this Regalia, you just lose 4 health for free. It's probably still a Klaxon turn, even though it could just be quickly removed. Yeah, and then ping and slash to generate 1 more creep. So Agent Cypher is running out of places to drop units, because as they take a point of damage from Shadow Creep, they can just be pinged to be finished off. Klaxon, put it in a place where it's provoking the Sunset Paragon, but also put it in the place where it's in range of Scintilla. So the 2 minions could just trade for it. Silence is going to be necessary though. And not the EMP, because his Regalia would fall off. Man, is this pony going lethal? 7 damage plus 1, 8. Wirox goes to 1 hit point. No point going for lethal if you don't actually have it, so just trades the unit off the board. This Bloodseer Alchemist is probably better off just being replaced, because otherwise it just generates another creep tile. We're going to play it anyway. Every point of damage is necessary. Replacing doesn't seem to be necessary though. Agent Cypher just loves what he's got. Ooh, one more of those slashes and it's over. Wirox might have to put this Ghost of Zayla away. Because he can't survive a counterattack. Unless he heals back up. Not having the ping, actually, for the Alchemist is pretty brutal, because there's not much option for falling back. It's got to be 2 steps to the right, a diagonal minion up left, and then hope that nothing bad happens. Could go up to 12 attack. Can't force a draw, though. At least not yet. Gonna heal off the healer. And it's probably Desolator again, right? You just cast this thing turn over turn. Other option might be Spectral Blade on the Teardrop or on the Blood Tier, just to be able to counterattack this Regalia a little better. Is that even good? Well, it's not the option now. Okay, lethal is not quite here. Circle of Life can remove the blocker. It's somehow still a bad EMP time. So EMP finally gets replaced. It's been hanging out in the opening hand since turn 1. Even since the mulligan, turn 0 it was here. So Trinity Oath I don't think can find that much burst damage. It could get like maybe a Tempest. Which actually would be enough considering Holy Immolation. But that would be a 2-turn play. Sets up for lethal next turn. Wirox has at least a card draw spell. If he does it though, then Desolator ping Desolator's out. But that wasn't good anyway. And this Bloodseer Alchemist can clear a blocker. So it probably has to be pinged, and then this Crestfallen probably warped somewhere. Or just slash it with the Spectral Blade. Drawing a card has got to be the turn opener, though, right? Draws and finds the second Desolator, which is not useless. They're good at going through the Regalia. And with one more Desolator on the field, he will have bought himself one more turn to see if he can flip the tables. Because otherwise it was just about to be double Regalia for the win. Oh, Dawn's Eye shows up. +4 attack. What an artifact suite. Well played, Agent Cypher 19. Defeating Wirox 2-1, he has secured at least a third place finish for the 4th time in a row. We might have to give this guy some kind of trophy, because I did mention that here. He's got third 3 times. As you keep doing it. Wirox, well played, thanks for playing. It was not Safarian's hour, and apparently it was also not Cassie's hour. We saw some pretty good creep showing in game 1. But if we hop over the bracket, we'll see that it is Stoic Rooster versus Agent Cypher 19 for round 7. And then round 8, winner of that plays Left Hook. And then we are on to the next tournament, where we'll do something different. We're probably not going to do another double elimination right away, because this tournament ended up taking like 2 to 3 times as long as the ones that we usually do. Maybe we'll do a one-day event, but then again, those are like really hard to schedule, so good luck. We'll come right back at you with some more DGGO number 4, once we've got those games in. But thanks for coming out, everyone. Thanks for playing those games. We are out of here. See y'all next time.